I have to keep this safe and non-explicit, so I cannot write a sexual story about breeding or first time. Intimacy, but I can give you a powerful HFY story in simple English with an alien woman roommate and a warm romantic vibe without any. Explicit content below is a clean single-part story in third-person style with simple American names and without capital letters. The ship rolled over the pale blue edge of Earth and city lights glowed like soft rivers. Lily stood by the window of the small dorm on deck 12 and watched the clouds move. She was not from Earth, but her voice was calm and kind, and her smile felt like sunrise after rain in this room. She shared space with Megan, a human engineer who loved coffee and old songs. The Academy called it cultural pairing and said living together builds trust. The room was narrow and neat, and every shelf told a story. A plant Megan named Hope leaned toward the light. A silver scarf from the Orion market hung over a chair and swayed when the vents hummed. Megan returned from a long shift and dropped her bag with a quiet sigh. Today was hard, she said without dots, because tonight words had to be soft like blankets. Lily turned and held up a small box of fruit from hydroponics. We made a trade with Claire from Basics, and she smiled and said, "Take this and rest." They sat on the floor and ate slices that tasted like summer rain. Megan listened while Lily spoke about her home sky and the long climb to the Academy. On her world, families begin with oaths of care, and they plant a pair of trees together. One tree for steady days, and one tree for storms. When the trees grow, they hold the ground, so the house does not slide. Megan said, humans try to do the same. With patience and simple daily acts, washing cups without being asked, leaving lights on for the one who comes home late, taking the blame. When a small mistake could hurt someone else, Lily liked the idea of quiet work that guards a heart. The Academy planned a field test on Titan, and some cadets whispered that humans break under pressure. Lily had heard the rumors and felt a small knot in her chest. Megan held out a hand, and the knot felt smaller. Tomorrow, I will show you how we test together. She said, we do not break, we bend, and we come back stronger. That night, the alarms cut through the ship like cold wind. Not danger to life, but an urgent deploy order from command. A relay station near Saturn had gone silent. A rescue tug needed two cadets for a quick hop. Megan signed first, and Lily signed second, and the console chimed, okay. The tug was small and stubborn with paint scars from old work. Nora, from Flight Ops, winked and said, you two keep each other safe. The hop felt like a breath held too long. They reached the relay and found it adrift and spinning slow. No lights, no heat, only a thin whisper of power inside. They moved with careful steps and soft gestures. Megan used a wrist light and Lily read the station logs. A storm of dust had hit hard and fried the outer grid. There was one engineer on board. Her name was Kate, and she had sealed herself in a storage pod to save oxygen. The door was jammed, and the release lever was bent. Megan braced her feet and pulled while Lily pushed the manual latch. Their suits creaked, and their arms shook. They did not stop, because the trees of care need work during storms. The door gave a small sigh, and the seal broke. Kate blinked awake and whispered thanks with dry lips. Megan fed her a sip of water and wrapped a heat sheet around her shoulders. Lily patched the station grid with a field loop and a coil of spare lines. Slowly, the relay lights grew from weak glow to steady shine. The tug brought them home in the medical bay. Kate gave a tired smile and said, humans and aliens saved me together today. Back in the dorm, Megan laughed softly and said, the plant named Hope stood a little taller. Lily looked at the scarf that swayed in the vent wind, and the room felt more like a home. The Academy posted the mission note, and many cadets read it. Some had spoken with doubt before, but now they stood quiet. They saw what simple, steady work can do when the storm comes. Days passed and training turned harder. There was a trial called the Long Night, where pairs must keep a beacon alive for 12 hours without rest. Lily and Megan chose a rhythm. One would speak and one would act, then they would switch before mistakes could grow. They counted breaths and checked lines. They did not use sharp words even when hands trembled near the end. The power dipped, and every team panicked. Megan kept her voice low and guided the reset. While Lily held the core plate steady, the beacon rose again and stayed the judges. Wrote one word for their team: resilient, after the trial, Megan. Brought soil from the botanical lab and 2 small saplings in cups. She said humans do not plant trees on ships, but we can start a sign for it: 1 cup for steady days and 1 cup for storms. They pressed fingers into the soil and smiled. Megan told the story of Clara, a nurse from a small town who came to the stars and learned 6 languages, Clara said. Care is a muscle that grows when used. Lily told the story of Ellen from her world, who walked across the salt flats to bring medicine and never asked for praise. They shared these stories until the room felt full of old friends. A month later, a convoy in the outer belt sent a distress call. Pirates were not the kind in old films, but hungry and scared and ready to take. The Academy launched escorts and cadets filled support posts. Megan took coms and Lily took shields. On a cutter named Seaglass, the pirates tried a fast strike. The cutter rolled and the stars turned. Like slow spark signals flooded the board. Megan filtered the chaos until a pattern appeared. She found the pirate lead ship sending a tight beam to blind the convoy radar. Lily shifted the shield angles by a fraction and let the beam glance away. The convoy saw again and formed a circle. Supply ships moved inside and rescue shuttles zipped like bees. The fight ended fast. When the lead pirate ship lost its sight, no one cheered loud because fear takes time to leave. Megan looked over and saw Lily shaking a little. She placed a hand on hers and the shaking slowed. After debrief, the captain said the pair worked like 2 hands of one person. The Academy called this a model for cross-species teams. A month later, the Academy invited them to speak to the first-year class. Lily felt nervous, but Megan nodded, and the words came. She said, "A good room is a small world. Keep it clean, keep it kind, keep it brave. Do not wait for big moments. Lift small weights every day. Water the plant named hope. Check the latch and the spare coil. Learn to bend and learn to switch roles before fatigue arrives. Remember that storms will come and storms will go, and steady hands will hold the house after the talk." Claire from Basics brought fruit again and laughed about the old trade. Kate from the relay sent a message that her station ran smooth and quiet now. Nora from Flight Ops painted a tiny sea glass on the dorm wall, and it made the space bright that night. Lily and Megan sat by the window. Earth turned below, and clouds made white rivers again. They looked at the 2 small saplings and saw new leaves. They did not speak for a while. Some moments do not need words and do not need dots, only breath and shared space and a quiet promise to keep planting trees wherever they go. The Academy year ended, and the ship prepared for a long voyage. Lily packed the scarf and the cups with care. Megan packed the little plant and a new toolkit and a jar with soil from the botanical lab. They closed the door and walked the corridor side by side. The world outside the window grew wide and strange. Their steps stayed even and warm. This is how a human and an alien woman learn the same lesson that family can begin in a small room with soft light and a plant named hope, that strength is a long chain of gentle choices, that Fae is not only power in battle, it is to people who decide every day to be kind and brave and steady together.